Hello, Connie here. Today we're doing a tutorial that goes along with the workbook, on how to compose beautiful piano music. If you'd like the workbook, I will put a link for it in the description below, and you can purchase one on Amazon. If you'd like to just follow along on your own, that's fine too. Today we're going to talk about writing chords and their inversions. In video 1, we went through all the chords in all the major keys, and we made a chart for all of those. So just to recap, we're going to do a chart for the key of C major because we're going to write chords now in the key of C major. So to remind us how to do that, let's see, we'll just use a dark blue here. All right, in the bottom we write the Roman numerals, capital 1, lowercase 2. The lowercase are minor keys. The capital are major, 5. And if we use this up here, which we probably will, there's a 7. So a 5, 7, a 6, and a diminished 7th chord. The notes in the key of C major are C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. Now we're going to write a chord on each of these. C, E, G. The notes C, E, G make this number 1 major chord. D, F, A is the 2 chord. E, G, B is the 3 chord. F, A, C, 4 chord. G, B, D, and when we add this 7th right here, that's up here to an F. Then A, C, E, and B, D, F. And basically that F just adds more tension to the chord, and that's the chord that we want a lot of tension in, that's going to pull us back home. And we'll talk about that in the next video. But now that we have that done, that's just a reference because we're going to talk about how to write our chords. First, we're going to talk about root position. Root position just means that, let's see, that these right here are the roots. That means that the root or the bottom note of the chord is on the bottom. I know that sounds redundant. Is the bottom note always on the bottom? Well, not always. Sometimes it's flipped around. But this is a C. Let me pull this over so I can get a C, E, G. So the C is the root, and that is on the bottom. And number 4, if we looked over here at our reference, see number 4 is an F right here. And this is an F on the bottom, F, A, C. 5 is right here, it's a G, so the G's on the bottom, G, B, D, and back to C, E, G. Now, if we wanted to do the chords in a different order or use different chords, look, here's our 1 chord. So we start with a C on the bottom, E, G. Chords are written in skips or thirds. So if it starts on a space, the next one will be on the next space and the next space. Number 3, let's look over here. It starts on an E. So we come up here to an E, and then up to a space and up to a space. All right, 4 starts on an F. So we can either go up to an F or down to an F. I'll probably go ahead and go up to an F. F, A, and then we have to draw an extra little line up here for middle C. And then we're back down to this C chord. All right, the next line down is 1, 2, 5, 7. So we draw the 1 chord that starts on C, the 2 that starts on D, the 5 that starts on G, back to the 1 that starts on C. Now here's a different progression. 1, the 6, which we look over here, starts on A, C, E. The 4, which starts on F, we'll use this lower F now, just since we're moving down in that area, and then 5, G, B, D. Easy as that. These are called triads, 3 notes in the chord, and the bottom note, it starts on the root, or whatever number this is on our chart. The bottom letter of the chord. Okay, now for inversions. Sometimes, if you'll notice, it goes up here and it is kind of a big jump to the next chord. Up here and then a big jump down, like down, down. That one's not too big of a jump. That goes in pretty good order. But we don't like those big jumps. They don't always sound great. And if you're playing it on the piano, you don't want your left hand just hopping all over. It's not very smooth. So a solution for that is to rearrange the notes of the chords. Now see, for example, this is a C, E, and G. This is an FAC, but you'll notice F is not on the bottom. F is now right here. F, A, C. Well, look, we can keep the C the same note. If there's a common tone or a note that's exactly the same, just keep it on the same one. Don't hop up or hop down. E is very close to that F. E and F are right next to each other. G is very close to the A. So we just kept it in the position where we had to make the least amount of movement. Now from here, we need to go to a 5 chord. The 5 chord is G, B, D. Well, we're on a C on the bottom, so the C could just move up to a D. That F could just move up to a G. And the A could just move up to a B. Now we have to come back to a C, E, G. All right, let's just bring the D right back down. That G can skip one note, and the B skips a note. See how that's not hopping all over the place. Now let's do this on our own. A 1 is a C, E, G. Now we have to go to a 3 chord, which is an E, G, B. This was a C, E, G. Well, look, the E and the G are the same, so let's just keep those exactly where they are. So the G, E, and the C can move down one note to a B. There we go. There's a 3 chord. Now a 4 chord is going to be F, A, C. What's close? Well, the G could be close to an F. That E, we need a C. That could hop down a third, a skip. And then this B is right next to the A. So there's a good inversion for that 4 chord. Now back to the 1 chord. Well, we have a C right here in the middle. And this is C, E, G. So C. And then we'll have to skip up to the E and G. Let's try that again. If you want to pause the video and do it yourself, and then you can see how I did it and see if we're close. C, E, G. Number 2 is going to be D, F, A, because over here, number 2, D, F, A. So that can move in just all of them up one note. That's not the greatest movement, but we'll talk about why maybe it doesn't sound good to just move everything up, because it has a 5th in there and that's kind of doesn't sound the greatest. But for now, we're just learning about the closest movement, and that would be the closest. Then the 5 chord, if we're on a DFA and the 5 chord is GBD, well, the D could stay the same, so there's a D. How about the F move up to a G and the A move up to a B? And then back to a C, E, G. All right, 1, C, E, G. Now there's other ways. This could have gone up a little higher if you wanted it, but that was very close. All right, now a 6 chord. And we're going to go to an A, C, E. Well, the C could stay on the bottom. E could stay where it is, and the top just moves to an A. Only one note had to move. Now a 4 chord is going to be F, A, C. How about the A stay the same and the C stay the same, and that E in the middle just move to an F? There we go. Now a 5 chord, G, B, D. Move this down to a B, that to a D, and that to a G. Anyway, see how that's a closer movement, so things aren't hopping all over. They're kind of staying close. Next video, we will talk about chord families and their functions. So, hopefully that made sense. You can fill out these worksheets in your workbook, and we will move on next time. Thanks.